Hi, I'm Kevin, and we're here today to talk a little bit about vices, benches, and irons that you're going to use for waxing. These are some of the essential things that you're going to be using and need to use in order to wax your own skis if you're going to be doing iron on wax application. First, we'll start off with the vice. A couple different types of vices, ranging from your basic vice, where it's just going to be something where you can lay your skiers to work flat on top, and then you can also do it at an angle, slide it in here to help secure it. What that's going to do is going to allow you access to do your edges and stuff like that. So this just clamps onto your table, your workbench. It's a thumb screw, and then this one happens to have a center section piece that you use for a brake retainer. You'll use a lasso around it in order to retain the brakes for skis and help keep them stationary, while this piece will go at the tip and the tails of the skis. Step up from there is what's like they consider like a World Cup vice, and this is where you're going to get a lot of adjustability. So there's two components like this that go on the tip and the tail. Then there's a centerpiece. The centerpiece on this one is going to actually clamp the sidewalls of the skis, so a lot more secure. It's not going to move around as much, and then you get a lot of adjustability with the vice itself. So you can put the skis actually vertically. You can actually angle them as well, so it's a little easier to do your base edges and whatnot. So a lot of adjustability here. Again, beefier components, and again they're attached to either the table or your workbench in order to secure the skis. But this one does make it much easier to work with. So a couple different types of vices, ranging from kind of basic to a little more advanced, sophisticated. So depending on how much you're going to edge work you're going to be doing, how much you're going to be waxing your skis, depend on how much you want to invest into your vice. Moving on to irons. Irons again range from basic to definitely pro level. At the basic end, which is going to be like your sub $60 irons, you're going to have a pretty basic iron. What difference between waxing irons and like a clothing iron is that waxing iron's got a flat base like this, so they're not going to get all junked up with the wax and the pores, the holes of the like a clothing iron. They also regulate the temperature much better. It's a thicker plate. Temperature regulation is very important when doing the waxes. All the waxes have a recommended melting temp, and these stick very closely to those. So a basic iron is just going to have a couple different temperature settings. Basic plate, it's going to be pretty lightweight. Good, for your rec waxer if you're going to be doing this, a couple times a year. If you're going to be waxing your skis a little more often, you definitely want to invest in a better iron, especially if you're going to be, say waxing race skis where you're getting the more expensive bases, you're going to be using more expensive waxes. You definitely want to make the investment in a quality iron because those more expensive waxes do require much more specific controlled temperatures, and that's what you're paying for when you get into a higher iron. The base plate's a little bit thicker here. You get more specific temperature ranges on your dial adjustment, and then also it regulates the temperature much better. So that's the biggest difference between this iron and your basic iron. The step up is going to be like your pro or World Cup level iron. As you can see, this thing's an absolute monster. It's got a very thick plate. It's very heavy iron. Regulates the temperature very exactly. It's actually got a digital temperature reading, so you can dial in the temperature. It's going to stay exactly at that, and that thick plate's going to help regulate that temperature very well. So this is going to be like, for high-end teams, colleges, or the avid athlete, this is definitely the iron for you. Getting into tables, definitely want a table. If you don't have like a workshop set up at home where you can secure your vices to, you definitely want to get a waxing table, or if you're going to be waxing out there on the hill, a waxing table is definitely a good investment. It holds those vices for you so you can wax the skis. You're not going to be fiddling around, cutting up your hands and stuff with sharp edges. So definitely a wise investment. So that about sums it up for vices, benches, and irons. Definitely a worthwhile investment, as these items are going to last you a long time, especially if you buy quality products.